BLUF Gaming here with a quick Satisfactory video showing how to build and use a main bus to organize your factory. A main bus is a centrally located collection of conveyors that carry high volumes of your basic and intermediary goods through your factory. The purpose of a main bus is to help organize your factory so that it is more efficient, effective, and easy to expand. When your factory is having supply issues, a main bus makes it much easier to identify the location of choke points or resource starvation. Perhaps most importantly, however, is that when you use a main bus and you decide to expand your production, you can always find all your products in one central location from which you can extract only those products that you need to fulfill your factory's new demands. Here I'm using a modular main bus design that carries up to 10 belts of products per line. As you can see, it uses a width of 5 conveyor stackers with the central 3 stacked 3 high and the outer 2 stacked 4 high. There's 1 belt each at the top level of the outer 2 stacks, then all 5 belts are used at the 3 height, and finally 3 of the 5 are used at the 2 height. Leaving the bottom open gives you space to place splitters that you can use to extract off whatever products you need from that location. The reason for only going a level higher for the outer 2 and for skipping 2 lanes at the lowest level is so that we can have easy access to all of our belts in case we need to bring them down to be split off. The highest 2 on the outer lanes can reach straight down to the factory floor, and the third level belts in the middle can use these 2 empty lanes at the second level to jump down briefly before they go back up to their lane. This particular main bus is carrying essentially all the basic and intermediate goods from tiers 0 through 3. When this bus is no longer sufficient, either because we need multiple lanes of a single product or because we're carrying goods from higher tiers, we can just move to the side a bit and build a new bus, much like a split highway. We leave space in the middle of these two to ensure we can access all of our products and send them in either direction as needed. That's your bottom line up front. Factorio veterans should be very familiar with the main bus concept. However, if you're new to factory games or just want to see more detail about the main bus, stick around for the rest of the video. Thanks for sticking around. It's easy to get started in a factory game and just send resources wherever they're needed, whenever they're needed, and build ever more complex and disorganized systems to meet the demands of the game. However, these games are intentionally designed to make that playstyle difficult, so some sort of organization is needed. In my last video, I covered how to compartmentalize functions of your factory to help optimize and organize your base. Actually transporting and sharing your factory's resource efficiently, however, is perhaps more important. Building a main bus is easiest when you have a long, flat surface. While this was easy to find in Factorio, Satisfactory's terrain makes it a bit harder. Because of this, you may find it easier to wait until you have coal power before building a main bus that will endure the length of your game. Gaining coal power enables you to mass produce cement, which makes building a large platform like this one much easier. Of course, building a main bus at ground level is completely possible, and there's no rule saying your bus has to be straight. The start of your main bus typically only carries a few core products. When these products are demanded by a new task, you can split off a portion of them to feed the project. If the project is producing a new component, you can send that back along the same route as the incoming goods. The result of this is that your bus carries more and more goods as you travel along it. If you find that your factory is building too heavily at the end of the bus, you may consider building a longer belt to send goods further upstream along the bus before you add them. Obviously, you can pull goods off to the left or right of the line. However, I've primarily been pulling off to the right. That's because this particular section of the bus is supporting tier 0 through 3 products. I'm building a second bus line to the left for tier 4 and above items, and I'll be building my steel and oil-based production compartments off to the left. You can try to fit more than 10 belts in a single bus. However, I've settled on this design because it's small enough to easily manage, and it gives you easy access to all of the goods that it carries. I space out each support section every 3 foundations, and this gives us enough room to bring down any belt to the factory floor, split off, and send back up to the next section. For the central level of 5 belts, you can use these 2 empty lanes on the lowest level to pull them down for access. You can either do this directly as I have done here, sending it straight back up when you're done with a bit of winding belt, or you can prepare a section early by first bringing the belt down to the bottom level, then splitting it off more directly. It goes without saying that you'll want to use higher speed belts for products in high demand. I'm using MK3 belts, for instance, to transport screws, as jobs they're involved in typically call for more than 100 per minute. You may find it necessary to run multiple belts of high demand items. If you do this though, I recommend occasionally using a belt balancer on those belts to ensure one or the other doesn't create a choke point or become resource starved, and you can check my channel to see how to build balancers in Satisfactory. Currently, this factory's steel production line is in wretched shape. One single foundry just barely feeds steel pipes and beams, and downline we're making some stators, all of this in a very ugly and disorganized fashion. I'd like to add encased industrial beams to this as well. So what we need to do here is add more foundries and send steel to our main bus. From there we can pull steel off of the bus to produce our pipes and steel beams, also sending those back to the bus when we're done. Finally, we can split off wire and pipes for stators, and beams and cement for encased industrial beams. In total, we'll be adding 5 new items to our new main bus while requesting 5 from both the new bus and the old bus as well. And now we've added the steel series of products to our main bus. After this, we'll add all the plastic, rubber, oil, and the like from tiers 5 and 6. And when they add tiers 7 and above to the game, we'll likely need to add a 3rd bus line, or consider having a multi-level solution for this current system. I hope this was helpful for you. Like and comment to let me know if it was, and tell me if there are any other topics you'd like for me to cover. You can subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos like this one, and I'll be making more Satisfactory videos until I've covered all the pertinent topics. Of course, you can dislike my video as well. However, if you do that, I'll ask the game devs to add a new vehicle to the game called the main bus, which is completely useless except for the fact that it will cause confusion every time anyone tries to talk about a main bus. Thanks for watching Bottom Line Up Front, and stay effective, engineers.